Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
I'm here for Peter.
Well, technically, I'm here for Miles.
Everyone, Spider-Man is here today. That's right,
Yes,
kid.
including Lilith's favorite.
Oh, Ben Riley, yes!
Yes.
All right, kids.
I love Ben Riley.
Back to another episode of The Ultimate Spider-Cast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, the Spider-Gwen herself. It is.
Blip, blip, Lilith Hellfire.
And jumping the multiverse himself. It is. Coming from that weird universe of New Jersey. It is.
Charlie, the Professor Esser. I thought Lilith was the Scorpion Queen now. Okay.
Nobody wants to be the Scorpion.
It's a rough spot.
Scorpion is cannon fodder.
Even Matt Garrigan doesn't want to be the Scorpion.
Exactly.
All right, kids. So yes, this is our Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review.
Issue 1.
Yes.
So remember how I said Sony really pulled a fast one on Marvel by letting them have the full rights. They're not going to argue with him. Yeah, you guys can have him in the MCU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first movie, Into the Spider-Verse, comes out, and everybody's like, "This is the best comic book adaptation ever."
Mm-hmm.
And then what do they do in the second one? They literally take all the Sony stuff, which they let Tom Holland meet the other two, and literally make this the most important Spider-Man franchise, basically, in the second one.
Well, yeah.
With
I
all
mean,
the connections, I was like, I knew Sony was up to something.
Oh, you don't think that was Feige's plan all along?
No, this has got Marvel pissed, or at least Disney overlords.
Well, did they say they're working on a Miles Morales live action now? So is Sony going to be like, you want Miles, huh?
There's a rumor that because they kind of incorporated the live action stuff, that the third one, which I mean at this rate might be the world's most perfect trilogy if they keep it up, they're going to have live action in it. That's the rumor. And that's
that'll be great. That was Don Glover
I'm happy
playing
for Sony, man.
Playing
they
the
had live action in this one, yeah. Donald Glover sitting there, and
yeah,
the Prowler. I was like, oh snaps!
It was good, but the fact of the matter is that they've established this. This is what I'm saying. It's like, Marvel and Marvel and Sony, they're threading the needle on this. Yes, maybe some suits are mad because that was my toy. I don't think Feige thinks like that. I think Feige thinks, no, man, I want to tell the best.
He's fine. Like, he's a team player and everything, but I mean the people above him are pissed. Because basically, like I said, so it's like, well, we're the most important Spider-Man. We have connections to everything.
Yeah, and now that all connects to everything that they do over in Sony now. That's the thing. That's what is part of building this interconnected universe. That's why, for what it's worth, like I honestly believe Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse will probably lead to our best friend Frank from Bayonne coming into the MCU for the Secret Wars. I mean, that's just how this stuff integrates. And I think they want to make it integrate because it helps everybody.
Because Sony backdoored when they let freaking Tobey Maguire back in, and everybody's like, we want an adult Peter Parker. And now, like, with this one, he's married with MJ and has Mayday. They can literally spin that off, and that's their thing, and Disney won't get a chunk of that.
No, they get.
No, that I don't think they get a chunk of the Tobey Maguire or the Andrew Garfield stuff. It's only the Tom Holland stuff that they have to split the revenue with.
No, they still get paid the rights. So they get paid.
Right,
so
the rights, but not like the 90-10 split or whatever they had with Marvel and Sony. I think it'll be the other way where they only get 10% and Sony will get the 90%.
As long as they get paid and they don't make bad films. That's the thing. The thing about the Spider-Man films was they were bad films.
Well, no, Andrew Garfield's were bad. Only the third one was bad, and that's because they didn't let Sam Raimi do his thing.
I know. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like Marvel.
And
I think
then it's still better than some of the Marvel stuff that's going on in them.
Oh well, you know, true. But the point is that Marvel, at least from the perspective of the storytellers, Marvel is okay with Sony making good Spider-Man product that makes them a little bit of money, but also helps them build larger stories. And of course, they get all the T-shirt sales, and that's the sweetest plum. You know,
do they?
Disney, yes.
I don't think they get the
Sony
Miles
gets
Morales
nothing.
Stuff because why would they be hanging the whole hat on Miles at this point? So maybe the Peter Parker stuff is what I'm saying.
No, Disney owns all that stuff. Marvel does. Sony does not get merch rights. I mean, they can create merch rights directly from their creations, but they still have to give a use right to.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
It's like multi-layer.
That can't be possible. That wouldn't be worth it because that's where all the money is nowadays.
Yeah, well, but again, it's only their creations, but all their creations are already copyrighted by Marvel. So right now, if I go out and I buy a Spider-Punk shirt that is not specifically using a cell from the Spider-Punk scenes in Into the Spider-Verse, that is totally a Marvel cash grab. I mean, it's the T-shirt sales company who licensed it, so Marvel got paid even before I bought the T-shirt.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's like, trust me, they made the deal. They made the best deal they could, and they realized that probably what they needed to do to get Sony to actually do something is to give them a little bit more creative freedom. And that probably was something that Feige pushed for. If we're going to, make him the Grand High Jim Shooter of the whole thing. Had a whole conversation about Jim Shooter and with Tristan the other day, and about the idea that one of the biggest problems you have is when you have creatives who are comic book nerds, and they start working with other creatives who are comic book nerds, but one guy gets to say what is canon and what isn't. All the people who had their own headcanons suddenly get very mad at the guy who is saying, no, this is what it is. Follow my headcanon, not yours. So yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
I think
this is a good movie. I was so happy. I was very nervous.
I know. I told you. I saw that they said the reviews were good. Like they were saying that it was worthy the first one.
Reviews mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
If you have seen what's going on with Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb lately, that means nothing to me. Audience scores, critic scores, they're dead to me. Even people on Twitter that I trust, they lately have been letting me down. So I just was one of those, see for myself, because people do pay for reviews. So Sony's not above it. They're not above it.
I mean, I was a little worried because it is Sony, but I'm just,
but it was so good. It was such a hard follow-up.
It's like all you have to do is follow the formula. It's like, you did it the first time. Just kind of do it again.
Well, you also don't want to be redundant.
Yeah.
They get a little redundant, but I guess there's some people who actually didn't bother to watch it and just came into the second one, which you can do kind of technically because they do kind of catch you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So for me,
I honestly felt that it worked out nicely on that. It gave you enough that you were going in there, and if you didn't know everything, which is hard for me because obviously I do know everything, but if you didn't know if you had who is this spider fellow? He's going to meet other spider fellows? That sounds a spider fellow's a girl? What is this story now? I think it gave you enough that if you went in with an open mind, you followed it, and you were like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. This is neat. I like this. And
I was pleasantly surprised that they gave us a long Gwen opening. I was like, wow.
Technically the whole story is from her perspective.
Yeah.
Literally to the end where she's like, you want in? And it's like, well, yeah. I didn't waste these 90 minutes for nothing, lady.
Yeah. I did catch that twist about what universe Miles went home to.
Yeah,
yes.
the 42,
it was the Coca-Cola thing. It was like Coda. Yeah, I was like, that's not Coda Sola.
Yeah. Well, but what it was the second, because what actually flashes on the screen, Earth 42. And they actually said he was like from Earth 1690 or something earlier in it.
1610, yeah.
1610, yeah. I was only 80 universes off. But yes, the idea that that they actually do tell you right there, he went to Earth 42.
Because that's the spider that bit him.
Yeah, because that's the spider that connects him. Now it's going to be interesting how that builds into the next episode, because is it that he's supposed to be there, although he's still glitching.
Are you saying we're doing Rick and Morty right now?
I mean, maybe, yeah, kind of. I mean, that's the thing. It's like we're going into other universes, and we're he can't replace the Miles who's here, but he also needs to be. This world needs a Spider-Man.
I kind of feel what's going to happen is he's going to like kind of turn around the other Miles and the Uncle Aaron from 42 and like kind of make them where like that Miles becomes a Spider-Man, but instead of having powers, it's all going to be like gadgets and stuff, and like they're going to modify that Prowler costume or something.
Well, I wonder if
we're a techno-organic suit.
Yeah, something.
Venom symbiote.
That's a bad shit, Miguel. You know how I feel about Miguel. So.
Well, what I'm going to say is I think that the idea of first off, I'm not convinced they're the bad guys yet, because again, this is a world without Spider-Man, so we don't know what kind of crazy dystopia this Peter Parker unleashed upon the world when he didn't have to learn great power comes great responsibility. In that universe, he's just a super genius with 2 loving adoptive parents. And no real tragedy or trauma to speak of.
Which no, you need the tragedy. You need that push.
Well, and it goes back to that idea about the the gray Spider-Man that we see briefly, who was in the original Across the Spider-Verse back on the Amazing Spider-Man or this? I think it was the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s. Where he was like, no, my parents didn't die. I'm a billionaire in this universe. What are you talking about? Parker luck? You mean how I'm just always lucky and I just come up with great inventions and everyone loves me and gives me money? Yeah, that's awesome. So I would love to see more of that guy, But I could absolutely see a fascist dictator, Peter Parker, as a sort of the person running New York City as the power behind Mayor Fisk, and that would be cool.
Yeah, and it just seems so weird because isn't it Miguel was just like from like another Earth instead of like the future or a future?
Well, he is from the future.
The future of a different Earth.
Yeah,
and that's sort of where he says about how all Spider-Mans have to have this web and these connections and these canon events. Yep. This thing doesn't happen.
Can't go messing with the canon, Zeb Wells.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's
I don't
like
care how bad you want to bang Mary Jane, stick with the canon. Self-inserts are the worst.
And again, it's and it's like that version of Peter and Mary Jane are together. They have a daughter in this movie.
Thanks
it's like,
Miles.
Why are the comics not? Why?
Well,
they're so against it in the comics.
I don't know. Well, because they kind of rate themselves into holes with these things, and they like want to reset him, and it's like
nobody already mistakes.
Look.
I just have to say it's been 15 years. I think at this point we might have to let it go.
Or look at the other side. It's like it's 15 years and people still can't let it go. I mean, look at Superman. We browbeat them into bringing that marriage back.
We did, but DC needed money at the time.
Look,
they don't need the money.
So one of the big reveals recently in the comic book world is that they're bringing back the Superior Spider-Man.
14 minutes in. I wonder how long it's going to take.
My bet was 20, but okay.
Yes, but here's my point: is I guarantee you that it's an old Tolliver clone that Anna Maria had in the basement. It like uploads. It's got his brain, and he's like, well, where am I? What happened? Wait, why does that person look like Otto Octavius over there? what's going on? And she's like, oh, well, you made a deal with Mephisto. It's like, what? How can I do something so stupid? Oh, I must have some leftover Parker DNA in here. Why would I ever?
He can go get some.
Well, but again, too.
Only a Parker would.
Fresh is best.
I hate to tell you this, but if it's present day, because Marvel's been doing a bunch of miniseries like set in the past, so unless that's set during the Superior Spider-Man era, so
it could be, and it's a possibility. But I would love to just see him. They
want to take our minds off of what's going on in present day.
Present day. I love Dan Slott coming back. Ha! I'm not as bad as Zeb Wells. Ha!
Finally, someone more hated than me. At least I have Bagley artwork.
My run wasn't so bad, was it?
I just feel that I just feel that making deals with the devil that is a Peter Parker kind of thing, especially useless deals with the devil. She was 107, Pete. Why are you keeping poor Aunt May alive?
Preaching to the choir, brother.
It's like,
she's in bad health, and she's been in bad health.
Well, no, but then she got all healthy again because, you make the deal, and Mephisto, if nothing else, he keeps his bargains,
So you're going to live to regret it, brother.
Well, yeah,
Uncle Mephisto did not want that.
I'm so cool with all the variants. Like, I think my favorite was we got to see Captain Spider. Flash Thompson apologist. I don't care.
Yeah.
We got to see Spinneret. I was like, oh, they remembered.
I loved a lot of these characters. They were so cool. We did not get enough with
Peter
Steampunk May Parker. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I said Peter Parker. I agree.
Oh, Peter Parker. Yeah, I mean, we at least we got Peter Parker. That was good. I mean, but I would have loved to have seen. I would have loved to have seen the Steampunk Aunt May. The Spider. I forget what she is. I would love to know more about Spider-Woman's motorcycle, because it seems to have that drive up the walls kind of feature of the Spider Buggy. Would have loved to actually see someone driving a Spider Buggy, not just Peter Park's car. But but that's the thing. When there's so many possibilities, it can get difficult at times.
See, and you want to know why this movie was over 2 hours?
Yeah.
Well, it was for an animated. That was a real risk, but everybody in the audience, at least my audience, was super captivated, totally engaged the whole time. I don't think one person went to the bathroom. Nobody brought their kids. It was great.
Well,
my audience was pure.
Well, again, there were so many characters, and then we still had to get back to Miles
everybody
and
feels
Gwen.
fleshed out. I really love how we followed up to the themes from the last movie. And we're still expanding, and really, I love the screen time that Gwen got. Because it's technically originally this was supposed to be the Spider-Women's movie, but then they kind of retooled it. But they still gave us Spider-Women. Issa Rae was absolutely hilarious. We're gonna see our husband next movie. Mark my words.
Yes, and for what it's worth, Avi Arad was still the executive producer of this, so
he will be that until he dies, and his kids are going to take over. So
yeah,
that's the whole thing.
I know, but in why it was supposed to be a Spider-Woman's film, and then we got a bunch more. Yeah, he's no Ike Perlmutter, but he's also Avi Arad.
But I mean,
he's mellowed in his old age.
I mean, we got a lot
of totally staunchly opposed to. We don't need Spider-Gwen. Get Silk in here and put her in lingerie.
Oh my!
Just saying, could have been worse.
But yeah. I mean, again, we got two. We got two big fight scenes in the beginning. First, there was Gwen with the Vulture variant there, and then we got Miles and the Spots.
I like the Spot.
The Spot was so cool.
And even tied him into tied him into the first movie. It's you're the guy you hit me with the bagel.
The bagel.
You know what I loved about the Spot is they really set him up to, in many ways, be Sony's Molecule Man. In the sense,
he's getting more powerful. Yeah.
Well, no, but he's also he's a nebbishy scientist who obviously has issues. Suddenly gains nigh omnipotence, but doesn't know quite what to do with it, and then just tries to become more powerful. And now he's going to be this guy. And like I said, this is where I think that Spider Verse Beyond story is going to come into this. I do think we're going to get into that void beyond, and I do think that a guy like Spot will be a part of that. You know, maybe we're going to see Spot and Molecule Man meet at some point. It'll be fun. And maybe we're going to see Spot actually like go get some therapy and work through his issues. I
Does
also
anybody
do
in
like.
Marvel do that? I don't think anybody in Marvel is allowed to do that.
Oh, people do that all the time. I mean, actually, literally, Owen Reese did that. That's like Owen Reese's whole arc is he like went to therapy and not
I
Doctor
was gonna say it
Samson.
didn't really work out for Moon Knight, so.
Oh, the problem is you have to want to get better for therapy to work.
Oh, you used the Molecule Man analogy. Oh, is Mal's going to bring Spot a cheeseburger? Is that how he's going to beat him?
a cheeseburger on a bagel.
Yes, well, it's,
Okay, I'm just gonna talk about the elephant in the room. I think Hobie stole the show, and they were right to like kind of like he's like I'm out. Don't ruin a good character by leaving him there too long. I love
oh yeah,
that whole little mini arc, and he like is stealing the gadgets and making the watch, and it was really great. Teaches Miles that really cool trick, and
yeah, because he's an anarchist and he knows
exactly
he's in a group that like you're trying to control things, man. I don't like that. So he probably never liked the idea of cannon points. He was like, I don't believe in that. I don't, I don't
and
join.
it's great for Miles to see that there's more than one way to be a spider person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did love his Lenny Kravitz hair when he takes off the mask.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you even cooler? Says, I was always this cool. So that was just great. I mean, Hobie Brown is just a blessing. He's awesome.
They punked Ben Riley.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he's Ben Riley. They love pooping on him, so
yeah,
it's a thing.
Well, yeah, it's currently, yeah.
I mean, he's a clone. It's hard being a clone.
Allegedly, we only got the story told from Peter's perspective. For all we know, Peter's really the real clone.
I think they're all clones at this point. I don't think
seriously. I think they're all just horny doombots at this point. It's just Marvel. It's like the dead internet theory. They're all bots. It's all bots all the way down.
All I'm saying is that once they rebooted the universe, it's like who even because we know that they just completely made a new Captain America and Tony Stark out of whole cloth because those guys were dead. So it's like who else is just brought back? Sure, why not? We'll just put everyone there, and that's how you know the Molecule Man was a nice guy because he says, "I'll give you your family back," which is also
Andy Samberg though as Ben Riley though.
I mean, he didn't have a ton of dialogue. I mean, it wasn't bad, but
I still say the real Ben Riley was the one that died in Miles' universe. I'm just saying. That's
he did look blonde,
yeah. Take it away from me.
Yeah.
Because he was he's superior to that one. Just saying.
It's entirely possible, Maybe he took over as Peter Parker in that universe because in his universe, the person who was Peter Parker was the clone. And he went off and did stuff. And maybe that's something they'll bring back later, Who knows what they'll bring back eventually?
Oh, they could do that because
the Scarlet Spider outfit was really great in this art style. So I liked it a lot. And I love that we were jumping across the universe with the different art styles. I loved Gwen so much with the watercolors and her colors, the turquoise and the teal and all that. And I'm like the thing with her dad where, when she gets a hug, the room warms up. It was really cool. They paid so much attention to detail. Every little stroke and yeah, that's just and Mumbai. Mumbai Hatton, or whatever. That was wow, really great, really cool. I love that.
Who's doing the voice of Private? It was Private
Bar. I think it's Karan Soni.
Okay,
he was in the taxi driver in Deadpool 2. That guy.
Oh, that guy. Yes. I knew I could recognize his voice. I couldn't quite place him, but he was great, and I love how he says, "Yes,
let's not get Mahershala as Miles' dad too."
Yes. There's a lot of great actors in this, a lot of great characters, and it was just a fun, exciting film. You know, Tristan did not go to the bathroom until the end, and there was no end credit scene. So and he got back. He says, "Did I miss a mid credit scene?" I said, "No, it's okay. They didn't do one." So, no end credit scene, which is
shockingly.
I warned him it was to be continued, but then they ended the movie, and Luca goes, "What?" He's like, "What?"
Well, yeah,
continue.
You end it there with.
And hopefully we'll get it out on time though, because this one it was like a year late, or was it a year and a half late?
Well, I think they said they made them both around the same time, so this one should be safe.
Yeah.
The second one should be safe, I think.
Yeah, they probably did it way before the writer's strike. Probably did it really, and
Good.
Yeah, that's.
We stand with them. We stand with them. They need more money. Like it's sick.
Oh yeah.
I even fight about it, so I'm not worried about it. We can just watch our DVDs.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Other things, until they figure that out.
There's content out there. I'm not worried about it in the slightest. And
I think to be in the clutch.
Yeah, they'll work it out. And at the end of the day, what they're probably going to do is just stop making so much content. That if you want writers to be paid more, then you have to have less content being made. Because the whole argument there is that they're like, you're asking like 1,000 writers to write like one page, and it's like, yeah, I know, because we just want to get as much out there as we could, and we can't pay everyone that amount just to do this. So then it goes back to being a much more structured model, and we don't get as much content.
It ebbs and it flows for sure.
And that's okay, because you know what? I don't have time to watch half the content they're making. It's like, please, just a little less.
I'm still catching up from 2014. Like, I stopped watching new stuff, and I went back to when I stopped watching TV, and now I'm getting caught up on all the good stuff.
I mean, me and Matt are just now doing Poker Face on full stream ahead.
Oh, good for you!
It's a good show. Oh, I love that show.
Tasha Leon.
Oh, she's fantastic, and all the actors in it great. I just had to plug my show there. Sorry, Philip.
No worries.
That's okay. No, that's all Capes and Lunatics.
Put your show on my show.
No, it's all Capes and Lunatics. No. So what is that? I'm sure everyone enjoyed Oscar Isaac as Miguel. Oscar Isaac coming into yet another franchise and taking over.
You gotta love Oscar Isaac. The man he's a good actor, and he can play moody and he can play angry, and he got Miguel, which was weird. It's Miguel O'Hara. Didn't it used to be O'Mara?
No, it's O'Hara.
Yeah,
no.
It is O'Hara.
Mandela effect.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe O'Mara was a pseudonym used at some point when I was reading it. So.
Okay, my favorite character was Rachel Drack as the school counselor. Wow, and I love that fight with the spot in the background. It was so cute.
That was funny. Him just trying to shove the ATM through the hole in the.
It's like it's just ATM. You don't have to say machine.
Yes.
He also said pin number too. It's a thing he does.
I know. Many people do, and that's the thing. But the thing is that when you say the pin, it's like everyone wants. There's a thing. You feel like you're ending your sentence too early. It's like there should be a word there. And you just put that. It's just anyway.
That's the difference between people that were born with the internet and not born with the internet.
Yes. Well, yes. If all you do is lol all day,
Exactly. It's just shorten everything. No punctuation. No time for punctuation.
Yes. Anyway, but I did. I thought the whole scene with Miles's parents was interesting on so many different levels. First off, the whole thing about his B+ in Spanish, and
so embarrassing. His mom was like, "What?" And then the snap had the Puerto Rican flag. I was like, "What?"
But within that, you have that earlier statement about. I'm not an immigrant. Puerto Rico is part of America, so there's multiple levels on that because
and
it
also
is
the way Miguel treats him with his more formal Spanish. I kind of noticed that thing too. I was just like, oh, what a dick.
Well, that is how that there is a formal and an informal like a lot of European languages, because they had
Yeah.
royalty. So you had these rules about how you address people. But
Yeah, these
anyway,
were like $20.99. I'm surely they've done away with that. Surely.
uh,
Well, he's like the leader of the spider people, so he had a whole chip on. Like, I have a whole thing about Miguel. I don't like the character. He was okay in this, but like, I don't actually like the comic book character. So.
oh, see, ironically, I like the comic book character. Of course, I have not read probably as much as you have. Um, so I like him as a character concept. But yeah, this guy was absolutely a total.
Oh yeah.
And he was meant to be like it's
Yeah.
not Oscar Isaac's fault at all. Like, he totally captured the essence of Miguel, but like new term, punchable voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
This movie.
Mark is a good actor.
Yes, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like the guy who plays Homelander. He is fantastic. And oh wow, why do I want to punch
You
that
really
guy?
get under my skin. Yeah.
Because he's just that good.
Oh yeah. And again,
everybody was fantastic. I felt like the chemistry was even better than the last one. So
Yeah. But
yeah,
I
I mean, Miguel was, yeah, you're supposed to hate him in this movie. I mean, come on, original 1992 comic book Miguel, written by Peter David. I mean, he is super smart ass. I mean, that's
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, they even had his AI, Lilith.
Yes, I love. The AI was really good too.
Yeah. Although they redesigned Lila, didn't they?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
well, in the original comics, she looked more like Marilyn Monroe. So I mean, yeah, they kind of give her, yeah.
They kind of made her look a little bit like the Asian actress that played her too. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and because I don't know, the big glasses reminded me of Anna Marie, so I don't know. That's just a thing for me, and you get kind of a little bit shorter, maybe a little. Has the big fur coat on, I don't know, man. This might be the superior Miguel O'Hara, and that's going to be the big reveal.
Oh,
that's why he's got a chip on his shoulder. But yeah.
But no, I mean, you guys were talking about the animation. I mean, the first movie was good, but did they even step up the animation in this one? It seemed like even better to me, or
yeah, they got to dip in a lot more art styles, so
yeah,
I think that's what it was. It made it really engaging and dynamic, switching through the different art styles and getting to see all these different worlds and the comic book interpretation and adaptation of that. I thought the execution was really great. Like, this really felt like a love letter to Spider-Man. And just comic books in general. Like, they had fun. It was so obvious they had fun and love and passion for this project.
And within that, I think that is one of the most interesting aspects of it, is the idea that when they go into these different universes, there is a different art style. But you don't become the new art style. You still have your art style. So Spider-Punk is still a cutout no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
But no one ever mentions it. And that is what I find the most interesting. Like, people probably can see it and know there's something off. It's sort of like when they do the different kind of word bubbles around characters to show that their voice has a strange sound to it, but you can't quite place what it is. Gwenpool has that, Deadpool has it, of course the Vision always has it. But you don't quite know what it is, but it's the fact that they have an inflection that you hear it, you know something's wrong, but you can't place why it's wrong.
It's like when you're talking to somebody and you're not sure if they're Canadian or American, and then they finally say a boot or a. That's what it is. It's like something's not quite right. Canadian, or you sound British. Say something. Say Foster's. You're Australian.
How can you not distinguish?
It takes a second, honestly.
Okay. I guess if you're, I don't. I'll take your word for it. I don't. I mean, you can't just say Cockney and Australian are the same. That's
I'm not saying
that's racist, Lilith. That's racist.
You got me there. It's all foreign to me.
What the F?
Thank you, I was waiting.
You don't have your buttons out, Phil. What's the matter?
Hell.
Out of the pouch. Boing.
He usually has all his buttons at the ready, and he's like, I don't know.
I
Getting
will
off
say
his game.
one thing that kind of was like a little disappointing for me was the soundtrack. Like Sunflower, literally to this day I still sing. But like nothing like really caught me. I guess what was the song for this one?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Annihilate or something like that was it's Annihilate because it still had like Sway Lee, which he did Sunflower, but that one was with Post Malone. This one is like with Lil Wayne and Offset. I was just yeah,
again, we listened to it. It's all right, but it's not as good as the first one.
I think they should have done Danger because that's the one with the parentheses spider. That should have technically been it, but maybe that was too on the nose. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that at a certain level, there's this moment where they maybe don't want the soundtrack to take too much of the story.
They played Sunflower in that first where he was like in his a little dorm room and he was playing it, and then they played it at the end when Gwen comes in through the portal. And then they also open this movie. Well, that's when I know. So I'm like, oh, this is a different song. Okay. It's fine.
Can I ask, why is Genki both swole and mean to Peter?
He's had enough of his stuff. He's not his guy in the chair. Okay? He's not Ned Leeds in Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay? He doesn't want to be that guy. But he wants to use his gym shoes. So, they're the same size. I get it.
I know. I mean, I'm following the idea, and yes, the actor who plays Ned is all swole now, so I guess it works. However you want to cross-reference it.
It's all connected. Super. Like this is literally your movie, Charlie. It's
I know.
Super connected. Like so serious. Like they started showing the little same portals that that Doctor Strange had and like the Quantum Mania had, and I was like, okay. Sony's really trying to be like, we're part of it. Give us money.
Yeah. Well, they're playing the game, and
they're finally playing the game. I'm so proud of them, honestly.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't think it is in any way meant to be a problematic relationship. I think it's meant to be, can you just get good creatives to make good things, and just sort of follow this.
Like, who really wants to work for Sony? That's the thing. Like, you saw Morbius. Nobody cared. They were like,
it's morbid,
it's such tonal whiplash. It's like you got Morbius, one of the worst movies ever, and then these two movies so far are just like, wow, that's the difference.
I mean,
no AI here.
Yeah, Morbius did not do well. I don't.
Everybody involved should feel bad, except for Michael Keaton. He was just trying to get a paycheck.
Blue blood.
I just think that they didn't. I think had they done more like what they did in the trailer, I think it might have been better. It's sort of, it's like
bait and switch, bait and switch.
Yeah, it's like on every level, it was just kind of weird. It was like, well, so if this is a universe where Venom exists, and then he never says, I'm Venom. No, I'm just kidding. It's like, then why did you put that in the trailer? So it's like, so clearly this is the problem for Sony. They have an urge to make very bad films that they can't control. But sometimes I'm thinking that there's enough force upon them that they will make good Spider-Man films.
Madam Web coming next year.
Starring Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yeah.
So it'll be good. Madam Web's a cool character. And if they start
not without Peter, like that's the word. It's just like Venom without Spider-Man.
They're doing the Julia Carpenter version, so it's like the second Madam Web.
Fair enough. They try. At least
that's why they're doing a young hot actress. Look.
Well,
I just thought they were going to do
Marissa Tomei, Aunt May, really?
You can do Madam Web from the 40s when she was young and hot. That was like
that Sony cannot do a period piece. I don't know if you know this. They really actually love. If you look up their history as a studio, they don't really like to do stuff timepieces. So.
You gotta pay extra money for those period costumes and stuff.
Yeah, like on their back lots and stuff. You don't see like if you go to like Warner Brothers or even Universal, they have a ton of that stuff. Not
just
on the
sitting there. They got to amortize it. So I got to make a period piece, otherwise we can't write off the 1940s set on Lot H today.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I guess we're in the 40s this week. Yeah, well, I mean, I got nothing against the young hot Madam Web. I guess it works. I just would like to see a story with that
Yes, exactly.
because I don't actually know Madam Web's story except as sort of a the lady in the chair. She is literally just like when Barbara Gordon was in the chair. What they call her?
Oracle.
Oracle.
Oracle. Yeah, she's like Oracle. So she's like, I mean, on a space time level, but she's just like the woman in the chair manipulating all of the Spider Men, and pulling the strings. Very disappointed we did not get any more Loon in this.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're going to do an Across the Spider Verse universe story and not have a more Loon in it, I think you kind of miss something.
Oh no, they might be doing some kind of period piece. Well, all right. Well, Sydney Sweeney's playing Julia Carpenter. Dakota Johnson they have listed as Madam Web. But they have a Ben and Mary Parker, so we might be doing something in the past.
Oh well, maybe
the past might be the 90s.
That is true because
Bro,
babes, we're old. We're all old here. Like that is like 30, damn near 40 years ago now. So
I know.
Yeah. So what
that is very much the past. That is a time piece.
Well, I guess at this point you can go down to Goodwill and get 90s clips.
Yeah.
Not with Gen Z snapping them up and putting them on Depop. Good luck.
They have patterns. You can make those suits again very easily.
Yeah, exactly.
You can just buy new. Why would you want vintage when you could just buy new?
Well, sustainability, but the world's on fire and I don't care anymore. So.
Well, then you get no, because rayon lasts forever. So that's
unfortunately so.
You melted down your
fire. We'll blow up the ozone again.
Anyway, yeah. So, but no, I like what Sony's doing here. I mean, yes, thank you for reminding us about Morbius that it exists.
I'm never gonna let that go.
Yeah.
It's like a Snickers ad.
It's bad and you should feel bad, Sony.
Yeah, I mean...
Michael Keaton can't lift you up. He's busy holding that. He's going to be busy holding that Flash movie up.
Exactly.
Oh, that is going to be a...
It's a masterpiece, I hear.
No.
Oh, really?
But it was only the director that said it.
Oh, yeah.
Can I be honest with you? Because that's our next all get together.
It is.
I was very excited about this until the last trailer came out, and I would like. No, not the two. I was fine with two Ezras. Just something about the fights between the Superwoman character and other. It's just like the sky fights. Just like, oh, that's not as good as Black Adam, but okay.
Ooh, that's the bar. Whoa.
Yeah, I just feel like, oh, I thought we were going to do something kind of better than that.
To be fair, the Flash movie was made before the Shazam movie, and we've just been trying to fix it ever since.
Yeah.
It's like a 5-year-old movie, and when it comes to like CGI and stuff like that, it moves fast. Changes move fast.
And then they make these recent statements about how much they believe in Ezra Miller.
Oh, the director, was it the director? Oh yeah, he says he'd make another one with Ezra Miller.
Career suicide. He can only work for WWE.
I'm just trying to understand. Like, I get being proud of your product,
but let
the product speak for itself. It's like, you're gonna see it. You say you can be very close up. You say, you know what? I think people can be very pleased with the product.
Yeah,
we worked very hard on this. We had an extra 5 years to make it.
Just say he did a good job, but no, so is the director taking it upon himself to try to like rehabilitate Ezra's image, like, oh, he's a nice guy, I would work with him again. And it's like, or they.
Yeah, I get the feeling of that, and I'm like, and well, I don't fault the guy, because as I said, I don't know Ezra's story. I don't know exactly what happened. For all I know, there's an actual very wholesome story about a young actor.
It's mental health. It's mental health issues is what it is.
Well, it could be, but it could also be like, the young person that he was with. It could have been that they were in a situation, and he was like, "Look, I can give you a safe space to be." away from people that might hurt you.
We don't know what happened, but like
exactly.
Instead of come out, it's like that looked good.
But there's
multiple.
multiple.
Don't look good. It don't look good at all.
I mean,
there's multiple occurrences.
Such a big star, and he's not a Scientologist, so he would definitely be in jail.
Yeah, there's multiple. There's multiple occurrences. There isn't.
Is he a Scientologist?
I said he's not a Scientologist, so the fact that he's not in jail makes me lean that maybe things got blown out of proportion, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And they identify as they, just so no one gets.
Yeah, did I say they? I thought I said.
I think you both said. I think you both said he, but yes, Ezra identifies as they. So
yes, I know. Ezra is a they, or is they?
Yes,
and that's fine. I actually prefer they. I actually think everyone should be a they, because it just makes writing.
I think everybody should be a them.
No, okay. I think everyone should just be hey you.
Yeah, no,
guys.
Hey you.
Or no, you gang. Hey gang. Yeah, I think that's the appropriate term for everybody. That's neutral.
No. But this is just my thing for business letters. I just think that the they them is easier.
Yeah.
Themselves, yourselves. It's like just use that. That's everybody. I don't want to have to guess who you are based on your name, which could be anything. And of course, I have a child named Tristan. And as I'm talking to the school nurse the other day, they keep on saying she. I'm saying I have to say he. Tristan is a name that is technically a boy's name,
Yeah, that's like old school guy's name.
Well, he is very pretty.
Like
he is very pretty. So
he gets that from his mother. So clearly, but it just
those estrogens are strong, Charlie.
Yes. Well, it would be hubris to say that I'm pretty. So I feel that every day, but I don't say it.
What are you saying, Lilith? In another 3 to 5 years, that handlebar mustache is going to come fully in.
Oh yeah,
Kristen. Yeah.
I got to work on that, man. I'm like so bad in my grooming lately. I've spent so much time on the top here now that I have it.
I know you're a long-haired hippie. I know.
I just want it to get big and beautiful before I shave it off, because it's like I've never had long hair, and I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Sorry.
Hey, it's fine.
Uncle Charlie, we have to behave. We have manners, Phil.
Uncle Charlie.
I'm just, I just prefer gender neutral pronouns. I just think that it's just the best way to talk to people,
Because you know what they say about assuming.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like if I'm talking to you, I say you. If I'm talking about them, I talk about them. I don't know what they're up to.
I'm just like, hey, you, listen up.
Hey, you.
I am so excited for the next movie, though. I don't think I've been I wasn't actually really excited about this movie because it got delayed, and it made me cautious because every movie that was delayed turned out really bad. But I actually can't wait for the third movie. I got a little countdown going.
Like I said, I think it's not even a full year. I think it comes out in March or something. So
yeah. I think it's going to be great. I think that this is going to really cement the Spider-Verse, and we'll see where it goes.
But it is noticeable that Marvel, as soon as Miles was getting this thing going with this whole franchise, it suddenly got real bad. Kind of like X-Men and Fantastic Four. I'm just saying, it's just a noticeable trend that happens.
And again, I don't know.
You can't deny that Miles book literally tanked after that movie did so good. It literally started going downhill.
Oh, the comic books. The comic books are not doing very well. Yeah, that's.
Although the
happened with the X-Men and Fantastic Four when Fox and Winona, they were putting those movies out. I'm just saying.
Although the new series isn't too bad. I mean, he's working with Misty Knight. Misty Knight's kind of like his mentor now, so
it's okay.
There's hope on the horizon.
It was on a high though when that movie came out.
Yeah.
Well, they want to
just bring Bendis back. He's not doing nothing. Just keep him away from the new Secret Wars or whatever event you're doing. Keep him away from that.
Well, the problem is he might have made enough money. That's always your threat with a writer, is that once they have enough money, then they don't need to do your work anymore. They can just do little little indie pieces,
Oh, but also, I mean, between the movie doing good, Lilith, and how's Marvel's relationship with Bendis right now?
Oh, yeah.
That's the other thing. He's a Bendis creation.
He's persona non grata on two sides. You just better stay away from Archie.
That's what I'm saying. That could be a double whammy. It's Sony and then the whole Bendis connection. So
that's true.
Bendis.
And that was your Bendis portion of this podcast.
But again, at least he knows Zeb Wells.
Hopefully he can turn it around. I don't ever want Spider-Man to do bad, but
I mean, Charlie, do you see what he did? He killed Kamala Khan.
I did just get that issue, and I'm like, really? Why are you doing that?
Absolutely nobody.
Well, that might be a whole conspiracy theory too, because they'll probably resurrect her in November when the Marvels movie comes out, and they'll probably bring her.
Does she even know Peter? Like, what is?
I know.
She knows Miles. She's a good friend of Miles.
Exactly. It's not Peter.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but they're probably going to bring her back as a mutant because in the MCU she's a mutant. So
you can't. That doesn't make any logical sense.
Someone was like, "Oh, Krakoa, just revive her or something." But no, there's some kind of conspiracy going on because supposedly Zeb Wells, who wrote that issue, was also a writer on the Marvels. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
really?
Not for nothing. She's obviously going to come. I mean, and I say this with all love and respect. She's not Captain Marvel. They're not going to let her stay dead.
That's what I'm saying. By the time she's going to be in that movie,
she's too profitable to just leave dead.
She's going to be back by November when that movie comes out.
Yeah, and just deciding she's now a mutant, or what it'll be is, well, it turns out yes, you are an Inhuman, but you're a mutant Inhuman, and that gives you resurrection powers.
She's like, so I'm a Skrull?
What am I now? It's like, well, I mean, that was technically the explanation for what a Beyonder is. It's like,
Yes. Yeah, hey Lilith, there's 4 writers on the Marvels movie, and Zeb Wells is the only one who's not a female.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good mix.
The plot thickens.
Well, I'm glad he's getting work. I don't know. I don't hate Zeb Wells.
Not yet. He's getting on my nerve bad, but I don't hate him.
It's always a problem whenever you give a writer a big property.
And too much leeway, honestly. They literally give him enough rope to hang himself. He's lived long enough to see himself become the villain at this point. Like, I don't envy that position at all.
Exactly.
I just like my little Wattpad fanfics. And whoever wants to support my Wattpad fanfics. That's all I'm worried about.
That's the way to be, Lilith. That's the way to be. You and Dante, just the fanfic. Self-insert.
Snoochie.
No, the other Dante, the one from Inferno.
Oh, okay.
I figured as much, because Hellfire, I got you. Yeah. But, where's the merch? Who's seen the merch? I got the Funko Pop, the 5 set, and that's about it.
There are
for the Marvels or for this?
No,
for the crust, yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse.
I saw a poster, but I haven't seen T-shirts or anything like
there's
that.
There's a few shirts. There was a shirt and a bag. We went in Hot Topic. There was a few things. Yeah, but but I don't know. I don't know if any Walmarts or Targets have anything.
I was there today.
Well, that's the thing.
I saw a poster. That was it.
Remember the toys and stuff. They released them early when the movie was supposed to come out. So.
Yeah, and also, as I said earlier in this very podcast, Sony doesn't get the dime on that.
Okay, but then Marvel should have definitely done something.
Well, unless they...
It's still a Marvel product.
No, because, see, that's the thing. They can't make Across the Spider-Verse merch.
They can make Miles Morales merch.
I will guarantee you will have no trouble finding a Miles Morales t-shirt if you go online.
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, I will guarantee you that
Spider-Gwen's getting kind of hard, actually.
Well, but I will guarantee you there is merch out there. I'm sure I've seen
the Jordans. Oh yeah, they did a collaboration. There's some Miles Morales era Jordans, and then they have a Hyundai. They had a Hyundai thing, I think.
Yeah.
Was the stuff they had for this movie? I'm just like, a Hyundai, I guess. Accessible.
Ad people are weird. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
I saw one yesterday or the other day.
Burger King Whopper.
Oh yeah,
the Ghost
yeah.
Whopper. I meant to get that today.
They're doing the red one, like the bun is red or something. Yeah,
they did the Ghost Burger for the last time too, didn't they?
They might have
a different color. It was like
yes, I heard it. I heard it tastes exactly the same. It's just it's a different color bun. Yeah.
So there's a few. Like I'm glad it's not like Batman Forever. Like Batman and Robin, that kind of thing, where it's just like everywhere and it's related to the point where you don't even want to see the movie. Like I'm glad it's not like that, but like.
Well, again,
T-shirt or Walmart. Like,
is it just that we have so many superhero movies now? Because it's like Batman Forever. That was the superhero movie for the year.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, but still, it's weird. I mean, late stage capitalism. I'll chalk it up as a win that we don't have so much merch. But it's sad when it's a character you like.
Yeah, I know. Or it's like, do they not make as much money off the merch as they used to? Or
well, I mean, plus I guess allegedly we're still having issues, chain supply issues since the pandemic. Like they still don't have like all those shipping containers or something. So that might be it. It's just so much more expensive to ship stuff from China now. Although
that's the thing. That's the thing.
But that's another business.
Well, if nothing else, that's the thing. It's easier. It's cheaper for them if you go online and buy something, then they don't have to ship it to the stuff to the store that might not sell. Yeah.
Yeah. I still miss being able to go in the store and grab stuff. Just like physical media. Get it while you can.
Remember, we're old, Lilith. It's like half the time you want something, you got to go in line for it.
Yeah.
Remember, we could go to the malls or wherever and just pick up all of it.
Malls are dead, bro. I have dissolved my relationship with Amazon and everything, but it's hard. It's hard not having a relationship with Amazon.
They're waiting you out, Liv Hellfire.
I mean, we had like a whole 12, 13-year relationship. They're profitable for them.
All right, so I don't know where he went, but anything else on this movie?
I'm gonna give it an A for amazing. This is
yes,
plus.
Yes, I agree with that A.
Like even the small stuff that annoyed me, all the good stuff greatly outweighed anything that I was annoyed by slightly. I thought it was a beautiful film, like art-wise. I thought it was engaging. Like I said, everybody was like super engaged and like totally into this movie. Like I said, not one person got up the whole time for this long-ass movie.
Oh yeah. It held Luca's attention. A lot of times I see him like his attention wander during like a MCU movie. Oh no, it kept his attention the whole time.
Yeah. All
right, Charlie, what grade do you give this movie?
Oh, I actually give it an A.
It's unanimous, kids.
Yeah, I would give it an A. I mean,
time that's ever happened.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I mean, I would give it an A+, but it's very, I felt that there were scenes I felt did drag a little bit. But aside from that, yeah, it's just solid work all around. Also, it also didn't resolve its story. So it's like, dude, if you give me the full story, you give me a 3-hour epic, maybe I give you an A+, but you only did 2.5
Actually,
hours.
that's why I gave it an A+. They showed restraint. Well, they also want to make some more money. And yeah. I don't think that they can tell that next story within an hour, so I'm super forgiving. Like I said, I'm really interested to see if this is the world's most perfect trilogy.
You see, that surprises me, because like, to me, now we just have to beat the bad guy. Unless, as I say,
there's gonna be a twist. Like I said, there's gonna be a few twists because this is gonna set something else up for Sony. It has to at this point.
And again, I'm telling you, Mouse is probably gonna do something on Earth 42, and then we're not gonna deal with the spot. And
do you think that Sony might, if there is bad blood, just do a Secret Wars before Marvel gets the chance to? That they are going to actually blow up the Spider-Verse, blow up the multiverse, and then do in Spider-Verse Beyond the Spider-Verse, do their own little Secret Wars with their little secret characters of all these Spider people versus all their villains.
No, I think they have too much to do already. That's a little too ambitious. And you were saying Beyond the Spider-Verse. What if it's the Beyond Corporation?
Well, I mean, all of that's a possibility. Here's the thing. Well, the Beyond Corporation is the Beyonders, which is the Beyonder. And I will die on my headcanon that because Beyonders exist outside of space and time, the first Beyonder is Frank from Bayonne. That all the other Beyonders is just that when that first piercing of the multiverse occurred, the one became multiple, and that's why there's Beyonders.
Oh no! Don't tell me we're gonna get a scene where one of some spider character is gonna teach him how to go to the bathroom.
It could happen. It could happen, and I hope.
Everything else.
I'm just saying it's a possibility, and I do think that definitely because that's the thing. Like to me, it's like okay, we got a big fight. That's that's the hang we left it on. It's like the Spot is here. He's gonna blow up this universe. Miles is over there, finding out what's going on with the Sinister Six cartel.
Insidious Six.
Insidious Six. Sorry.
No, I'm just it's an Amazing Spider-Man cartoon joke.
Yes, but whatever it is, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I just feel like that is those are two big fights. They don't seem like it's like a 2-hour movie. So that's
I think we're gonna wrap that up, and then there's gonna be the twist.
But again, you're gonna have there might be a twist, but then you're gonna have all the human interest stuff, like and Gwen and her father are probably gonna make up, and and then we're gonna see stuff with Miles and his parents, and
yeah, because we left that parent stuff kind of precariously hanging as well.
Yeah.
I do like to have a Aaron back though. That's nice.
Yeah.
But do you think it might be as a because that's the thing, like that is the thing to me about this, especially if we start talking about a live action Miles Morales film, is that the idea that maybe at the end of that, yes, Miles Morales shows some basic human compassion to the Spot, and when the universes get recreated, he merges them.
Franklin Richards it?
Franklin Richards is it.
You can have your uncle back. You've been a good little lamb.
Yes. He gave him. I mean,
but that is his Uncle Ben moment, so I don't know.
Franklin Richards is such a BA.
What I will say is he's already had his Uncle Ben moment, so he doesn't need one. It's one of these things like because you already know with great power comes great responsibility. If suddenly your uncle could come back, and it not be some creepy clone stuff.
It's gonna be creepy clone stuff, though.
Well, it's always creepy clone stuff. It's Spider-Man.
Or a horny Doombot.
But again, is Miles going to get his uncle back? Because it's like in modern superhero stories, they love to have at least one dead body on your tab. So
yeah, I know. I just don't want him to kill his parents again.
Yeah, I mean he has his uncle. That's fine.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if we'll get a story where whatever happens and the Miles Morales from this universe comes to attack Miles in his universe. It's like what becomes that? Does it become this anger and rivalry that you got all the luck and I got all the dreck? Is it going to be it will be. You want it to be like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, where it's like, no, you are just like me, and we are good together, and it's just we're very happy, and that would be great. But at the same time, there's a lot of it's like Data and Lore. You got all the love, you got all the affection, I got nothing.
Yeah.
And then Data busts him up and just says,
"Nope.
Here's all that love.
Mess with Data.
Here's all those
don't
memories you wanted.
Don't call him Data."
Yes, exactly. So, but that's the thing is like you can have that rivalry that's based solely on the perceived short shrift you got, and so that would be an interesting thing. So yeah, there's stories to tell. I just think they're much smaller stories than this one. So I don't know how you do that expansive thing. Because even
I think they didn't want to do a 3-hour animated movie, period, though. I think that was just probably an editorial mandate at that point.
Oh, yeah, because, a lot of kids are going to be watching this, yeah.
Well, yeah. But then it's like, so
And
what are you going to do with this extra 40 minutes?
Well, yeah, well,
you know,
well,
it's
yeah.
like, why did Harry Potter's last movie or Twilight's last movie have
Well, yeah, they
capitalism?
can milk 2 movies and make more money in 2, and I think a lot of audiences in general are just sick of 3-hour movies too.
Yeah, agreed.
It's overstated, unless it's a Christopher Nolan movie. Shout out to Oppenheimer. Can't wait to see it in black and white and IMAX.
Oh yeah, man, that's got Tom Cruise mad.
That's why I want to see it.
Why is Oppenheimer getting all my IMAX?
Tom Cruise beef.
He wanted all those screens for Mission Impossible.
Is there a Mission Impossible coming out?
Yeah,
I always a Mission Impossible coming
out. In July, yeah.
Like clockwork, baby.
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I can't keep track of all these.
No, seriously,
films.
they got so good after like 5. Like they took a dip, like 2 and 3 aren't good, and then they came back with 4. And it, like especially since Tom Cruise like took over and he put all.
Well, yeah, I think
that's his franchise. It got super good. He's just holding on to a plane. He's doing all those stuff because no other studio will like.
Well, it's part.
In the right time.
It's another Part 1, but Charlie, I believe Haley Atwell's in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Uh-huh.
Good for her.
You know, yeah. I'm not married to a lot of actors, you know, so one woman guy still. I thought you knew that about me.
I know, but
anyway.
I know you enjoyed her previous works. Yeah,
I do like Haley Atwell, so yes, that's fantastic, and I'm glad she's getting work. You know, I want her back as Captain Carter and Peggy Carter in the MCU, but we will see how that happens.
Yeah.
I am not
good for Sony. I'm happy.
Yeah. And there you go. And that's all you want. You just want I want every company to make lots of money, employ lots of people, pay them all wonderful wages. I want just a flush of cash for everybody so that
because it's fine when one studio owns the market and is only the one putting out profitable movies. That's all I'm gonna say about it and leave it alone.
Well, exactly, And as we know, that's almost never the case. So it's and Little Mermaid's coming out, or is it already out? I don't know.
It's already out.
It's already. Oh, it's doing well. I heard. So good for them. It's made more. Yeah, well,
it's doing good.
That's all that matters. Little girls are seeing that and feeling their first princess. So that's all you can ask in life.
True.
Hate to tell you this, Snow White's not that good of a film.
Of course it's not. I mean, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but
it's beautiful. But the story, the Disney princess stories up until Tangled are very good. We're just gonna
exactly, So, little girls get to see a mermaid. It makes them happy. Who am I to be mad at them? You'd have to be like a really awful human being to be mad at a children.
To the internet, pal. Because there are people upset.
Well, I love people talking about fictional,
It's like, babe, she's a mermaid.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like, and actually, the crab was Caribbean. From he had a Jamaican accent. So.
Well, yeah. Well, that there's a whole other controversy about why aren't there more slaves in it? Because if it's supposed to be taking place at this time, it's like. And it's just like, sometimes you can't win for losing with the internet. So it's just,
Faux outrage is my favorite kind.
Well, when you want to draw attention to something, the easiest way to get attention brought to you is by having faux outrage.
All right. Let's cut it off. Yes. All right. So, yes, kids, next movie review will be back on Capes and Lunatics. It'll be the Flash movie. So, God help you all.
I don't want to taint any other podcast with that crap.
All right. So, yeah. So, send us all your thoughts on the Across the Spider-Verse and heck, all your Spider-Man thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find everything on the Capes and Lunatics website. Episodes, social media, merchandise, the Patreon. Find it all at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. And if you want to find Lilith Hellfire on the internet, whoa, he's gone.
Oh no, I was looking forward to the Charlie drop. That's why I got on screen.
Oh no, we might have to do it ourselves. Lilith Hellfire, where can people find you on the internet? Nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere. But if you're an old lady like me or an old person like me, find me on Facebook, Lilith Hellfire. Friend me. Send a friend request.
Either do the 6 or do the 9.
That's right.
Oh, you don't want to know the things I've done. Bigger, harder, stronger.
If you're upset with anything that I've said, you can tag Phil at Nightwing PDP on Twitter.
Hey, email Capes and Lunatics. I'll forward it. She'll be like, I don't care. She'll be like, I'll be like, oh, look what they said about you on this email. She'll be like, you know what?
Your whole family can suck it.
Mother's a whore.
Or that one. Is he there?
Sorry about that. My computer randomly shut off, so now I'm on my phone.
That's what happens when you don't plug it in. All right, Charlie S. No.
You can always write to me in the old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEssser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Ding.
Thank you, Maz.
Thank you, Mozzie. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Back to your regularly scheduled Finder cast next week. Comics. The Zeb Wells hate march is on. But until then, swing on back.
Flip, and Paul's mother's a whore.